job security is dead for everyone. Hey, before you jump off the deep end on me, before you like, oh man, Dom done lost his marbles again. I mean this in the most humble way. Hear me out. We all really are replaceable unless you're working such a low skill, a low level job. But even then, there's somebody that is there willing and ready to take that position. I could take it a step further and say that if you went to school right, you did it the traditional way, and you you did it the traditional way, and you go to school, you finish, you get the job right. Even after all of that, you still like there's somebody that's still right there that's gonna be willing, that's working hard, that's trying to be the top dog too, that wants to be the boss too. You're not the only one that wants to be a boss. So like the more I thought about it, I'm like, I'm gonna have to have my own business and literally be, my own boss. We got God, there's a hierarchy, but aside from that, if that's not happening, we're all replaceable. And then I was thinking about it even more, right? And I'm like, okay, the only way for me to be replaced if it's my own business is if I get bought out in theory, right? So that's like one of the only ways. Let me know, am I tripping? But I know I'm not tripping on we're all replaceable. I know that. I know we like to think that some of us could be secure in whatever job that is. We could be laid off. There's a lot of outsourcing, right? So the last two major companies that I've worked for, literally, I was in a training group with people from Manila. I have nothing against immigrants, people from overseas. It's all love. It's just the fact that these immigrants are competing with us or people in the United States or anybody, even anybody. We all competing with each other for these jobs, and that's what makes you replaceable because you you're not the only one. But the point is, we have a lot of the Manila going on, people from Manila, and I know that they're getting paid for fractions of the price. So just off that alone, these companies will cut you, and you can lose your job just off of the savings that a company can make from you. I was doing research and looking into it, and what I learned and what I discovered is that people that bounce around every 2 to 3 years, changing their job, right? They make more money than the employees that stuck around for a decade. Just wrap your minds around that. And in learning this, it gave me a little bit of peace of mind because I've made a drastic move. Definitely check out my last videos about me sharing my job and going through a job career change. And it was encouraging because I was currently at my last job, current job, however you want to slice it, uh, for a little over 2 years. So, and one of the things that's messing me up is the lack thereof the growth, and minimal percentage of growth was really something that I'm just not liking anymore. And me just kind of thinking about, right? And I want you to share how you feel about this, right? Like we're all replaceable. And once you start to think about that, it can be a little scary if you're not an entrepreneur or trying to become one like myself. I definitely encourage you to do so. Definitely encourage you to try to start your own business. These employers, these companies, they just don't care about us. And it is business. I've been told this for so many years. It's nothing personal, it's just business. But now the just business side is really starting to hit home, and my finances, and I'm not liking it. There's a lot of robots, if you don't know. If you've been living underneath a rock, a little bit like myself, and it's only a matter of time, I feel like, before these robots get deployed into these jobs like warehouses, and just simple tasks that can be done like picking jobs, right? They're gonna have these robots come in and work those jobs. So then what happens to all the human beings that once had those jobs, right? More competitiveness, more, oh, you thought your job was secure until it wasn't, right? And there's already driverless cars. Where I live at, I can right now I can order a driverless car to take me home right now. So if the technology has already been deployed for driverless cars, that directly, I thought it was directly going to impact my job sharing, but apparently they're partnered up with the company, so it ends up working out in that regard. But just overall, like, what happens once they decide to let it be all driverless, no drivers, only the people operating out of the out of that corporate office, they have a job by controlling and working out the issues that the driverless cars may or may not have, right? But all the people who are doing rideshare, that job is no longer available. You can't do that as a side hustle anymore, or whatever means you're using that income for. It's probably eventually won't be there anymore, and it's could be very alarming. But we have to prepare ourselves, because if we don't prepare ourselves, you like me, right? I'm trying to get out of debt. Everything's finally clicking on what I got to do and make a plan, right? But if you're not prepared and you don't have a plan, I don't know if planless is a word, but if you are that and you have no plan, you have to be prepared. You have to, myself included, because if the job decides to just lay you off today, what position are you going to be in? You have to have a savings. I'm getting ready to tap into my savings again, just because I need to dump into myself or pour into myself development and taking classes, right? But I gotta save up again too, for the rainy day, or for if a company just decides to no longer want or need my services, because I'm not the boss. That's the reality that I have to always remind myself of, and I encourage you too. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to be negative at all. It is just a reality that there is really no job security. If you just think about it, uh, they're kind of, in a sense, selling false dreams. And like I said, this goes even for, I don't who are you, whoever you are, please let me know if you're gonna say like, oh, I'm secure in my job. If your job isn't working for yourself, please let me know, like, with details and facts, like if you truly think that you're not replaceable. Because, and especially in the corporate world, we definitely are all replaceable. And there's someone that can do what you did. And then if you get knocked off your high horse, right, now you're looking for a job, right? And whether you're getting better, elevating, getting better jobs, or if it's a step down, either way, when you go through a position change, or if you take my advice and at least move around every couple of years, you're inevitably taking someone else's position. It's just a cycle. We're all just, we're replacing one another in like a vicious cycle, so to speak. Unless we figure out a way to be creative, right, and tap into something that is all ours, right? Like I said, it's God, then us as a creator. I just feel like anything else, you lead yourself to be subject to being replaced. Last few things I definitely want to share with you, and I don't want you to miss these keys, is to not rely on another man to feed your family or to feed yourself. We have to get out of the mindset that, these jobs, this one person, this one entity is literally going to play a major role in our lives, can make or break our certain situation, right? We can't have all that power into any one job or one company. We have to figure out ways to shift the power and control in our own hands, right? And that's why I say, with God, it starts there. And you just want to be on the right side of things, right? Don't be the majority of people who are just doing the same thing waking up each and every day, wasting and committing all their time into the one job, thinking that's really going to be enough for them. Like, I don't even think anybody can really retire off one singular job. Like, if you want a lifestyle that's even close to the one that I want for me and my family, you can't. Now, I am very grateful, very humble. Don't get me wrong. If you're like that, you're a minimalist, you're good with just the bare minimum, you might be able to. But for the most of us, we're not going to be able to. And don't be a part of that majority. Be a part of the percentage that's going to actually take action, and change things for the best. It's not It's not gonna be easy. I know I do say that, I'm sure, in a lot of my videos. If you're new here, I definitely appreciate you. But the, the risk is needed. Action is needed. It's just as risky, you putting all your eggs in a corporation or even a couple jobs. I have 3 of them. That's risky. Me uh, not managing my money the right way, going to a job each day thinking that that's gonna bring me what I need. I will be able to retire. I'll be able to take care of my family. I'll be able to take care of my grandkids. That's not gonna cut it. I'm learning and knowing that. So I have to take the risks, and sometimes it can be a little bit scary, but that's why I definitely put all my trust in God, and I definitely appreciate you, Kingdom family.